Okay, myself, I'm Dr. Ranjana Das. I'm from Chemical Engineering Department, Jadavpur University, and today my topic of presentation is basically isolation and purification of phytochemical from stevia by ultrafiltration process. So, first of all, I just want to give a brief of the stevia. Though I was not aware that the keynote speaker was planning for detailing about the stevia. Just a brief about the stevia, why it is so important and why we are just concerned about the extraction of the stevia phytochemicals. That is basically the stevia, its sweetness. That is, it is called the sugar plant. Okay, the stevia isolates, the stevia extracts mostly, they are used as a sweetener. And according to FDA, these sweeteners are now approved as a dietary supplement also, but not as a food source. And its consumption is increasing on regular basis. You just can see from the studies that in 2014, the consumption was about 5,100 tons, which have increased to about 8,500 tons by 2020. Though China is the major producer of this stevia, but still in our country, some states they are also cultivating this stevia plant, that is the sugar plant. So this consumption is increasing. As a sweetener, it's increasing, and most of these our objective is to isolate these stevia phytochemicals from here as an application as a sweetener. Now, in present context, just since we are talking about the medicinal plant here and we are discussing about the medicinal plants, so probably the question may arise why this stevia is considering as a medicinal plant, because the stevia extract is basically known as a sweetener. So it is an sweetness adding just extract. So that is the conventional use. Now, apart from this conventional use as a sweeteners, these extract, they have some other applications also, and most of them are therapeutic applications. Like you can see in the non-conventional uses part, I have just highlighted some of this application. Those are apart from the adding sweetness to the formulation. Like for the diabetic patient, it is generally prescribed for the diabetic patients to take because it is having very low glycemic value and low calorie content. It never affects the raise of the blood sugar level. For dental care, it also helps because like sugar, it will not cause any cavities. Rather, it will generally help in improving the dental health and treating the bleeding gums. Now, this is mostly because of the presence of the phytochemicals. Those are normally hydroxyl group containing phytochemicals. They are having some antimicrobial action or antibacterial action and antiviral action. And those actions of the phytochemicals, those are normally applied. In case of non-conventional uses of the stevia phytochemicals. That is mostly the medicinal application or therapeutic applications. In skin and hair care formulation, these properties can be used. For wound healing can be used, and specifically for the medical researchers, they have also claimed that the stevia plants, this extract, they can be used in combating high blood sugar level. That is the hypertension controlling and obesity related health issues that can also be solved using this stevia extract. So not as a only sugar plant, but these have some other activities, this extract having some other activities. And that for that reason, just I thought that we can just give some idea about the therapeutic application profile of these stevia extracts and to incorporate these in the medical plant with the medical plants also. So this is all about the non-conventional uses and therapeutic application. Next is coming about the problem that I want to highlight, but that I'm working on actually with the stevia extract. Now, in our keynote speaker, they have just the keynote speaker have highlighted about the extraction of the stevia extract and using solvent extraction process. And he have also mentioned that resin is normally used, that is the adsorption process can be used for this isolation of the stevia extract or purification of the stevia extract. And the membrane part that I want to just share with you here. Now, apart all these processes, that is solvent extraction process and the resin process and by any other adsorption process or ion exchange process, all those are equilibrium based process. That means there's a very slow process. For membrane process, it is comparatively fast process. That is one of the advantage. And second one is that in membrane process, just by controlling the molecular weight cutoff, that means actually the pore size. What is molecular weight cutoff? I'm coming that. Just it is the size for cutting a particular molecules, for separation of two different molecules just based on the molecular size. So that principle is used in the molecular separation process, that is membrane separation process. And our objective is basically to concentrate the stereosides, which is in the molecular weight range of 809 to 830 in this range. That stereosides or stereoglycosides we are trying to isolate or we are trying to concentrate using membrane process. And basically that component has been just reported in many of the literatures as having those therapeutic applications. So our objective is basically to use the membrane separation process for selective separation of the stereoside having a particular molecular weight range that I have mentioned from 810 to 830. Within this range, we want to cut off this concentrate, this stereoside portion. And we have also studied in an in vitro study, antioxidant study we have carried out, because those are phenolic components and glycosides. They're having some antioxidant potential, and that is the first stage to assess whether there is any therapeutic application or not. Although it is already established there is a therapeutic application, but since we are doing some different process, that membrane process, there may be some changes in their physiological activities or their functions. So that's why we have also studied an in vitro antioxidant study with the stereoside that we have just concentrated by this process. And that is mainly the objective of this study. And in the next slide, this is the process trails, what we have done. We are first taking the dry leaves. We are not collecting it from some company in Gujarat, Papnagar. And from this, we are taking the leaf powder as usual, and we are doing the water extraction process. Water extraction in simple at a temperature of 55, a little bit higher temperature is actually room temperature, for about 1 hour, and at a pH 7, we are just preparing this extract. And after this extraction, water extract, we are doing the centrifugation for initially purification step, just to remove the suspended matter. And after that, we are just going for a membrane separation process. And this membrane separation process is normally done with the 10 kDa PES membrane. This 10 kDa PES membrane means it is a membrane which generally rejects all the molecules having molecular weight range above 10,000 Dalton. Now, what is the necessity of this step? This is not actually, this is the first stage, that is the purification stage, mostly to remove the pigments. Those are coming to improve the clarity of the extract, because it is a very dark color. So this removal of the pigments, for this purpose, removal of the pigment, we are first doing a clarification state or just a membrane separation process with the 10 kDa PES membrane, that is polyether sulfone membrane. And after that, this membrane separation process, we are getting two parts. One is the rejected part, that is called retented, and the permeate part. In the rejected part, those are normally discarded. Those are pigmented pigments coming from the during the extraction process. And after that, we are going for the taking the permeate part, which is little bit clear in color, or clarity is much better. And with the permeate, we are then going for a membrane separation step with a membrane that we have synthesized in lab. Here is the novelty of our study. This membrane was purchased. This is a supplied membrane. Commercially, this membrane is available. But for stereoside isolation or concentration, we are preparing a membrane in our lab. That's the novelty of our study. This membrane is based on polysulfone. This is polysulfone mesh, where we are using PVP as a pore former. And these are the combination that we are using. This membrane we are synthesizing in our lab in a controlled way, so that the properties is so controlled that its molecular weight is having a particular value, molecular weight cutoff within this range of 800 to 850, so that we can selectively retain the stereosides from the other components in the extract. And after carrying out this extraction process, membrane separation process, the retained part, that is retained portion that is normally the stereoside concentrate that we are collecting. We are using as a stereoside collector. So this is the trail that we are using. This instrument we are having in our lab. This is automatic film porter, and with this we are just casting this membrane in our lab. Now this process, after this process, I'm just giving you the brief of the membrane that we have synthesized in lab, its properties. This is the main points to be considered here, that the molecular weight cutoff that I have already mentioned because of the selective separation of the stereosides, and the hydrophilicity. Now PSF, that is polysulfone, is normally hydrophobic. Its contact angle for pure PSF is 82. And using the pore forming agent, that is polyvinyl pyrrolidone, we have just improved not only the porosity, but we have also improved the hydrophilicity of the membrane little bit. So this is the result, that what is the contact angle value, that is mostly the hydrophilicity have been changed, and the molecular weight range we are just getting in this way, and porosity also have been improved. This is the PVP in the higher dose, so porosity has also been improved. And if you consider about the picture, this is showing how the porosity is changing, that's porous structure of the membrane, cross-sectional view. And the percentage, this is the pore size distribution, and this distribution shows that there is very narrow distribution. That means it's very specific distribution is there. It is very specifically designed for a particular type of component of separation, that is mainly the stereoside. So narrow distribution is there. And this is the membrane module that we are using in our lab. This is this long portion. This is the pressure. This is normally the cylindrical body. This portion is the module mainly holding the solution to be separated. That is the feed solution. There is an inlet line from the top. We are injecting the feed from here. And at the bottom we have the permeate line. And pressurization is normally done with a nitrogen cylinder, and pressure gauge is there. And this portion is having the membrane. This membrane is the diameter of 445 mm we are using here. So we can dismantle this portion, we can open this portion, and we can set the membrane here. And after the operation is over, we just again can remove the membrane and can use the same fresh membrane here. So within this membrane, this type of membrane, it is normally called dead-end membrane module. There's only one feed line and one permeate line. And for retractant collection, we have no line. So it is not a dead-end type module. And using this type of module, we have done the membrane filtration process in a membrane separation process. Initially, the 10 kDa membrane that we have used, that is also in the same assembly. And after that, when we are using the synthesized membrane, which I have synthesized in our lab, specifically designed for stereoside isolation, we are using the same assembly. So this is the membrane module we are using in the lab, and its capacity is around 500 ml. Total capacity of the feed we can just handle in this. And these are the major some observations. Normally during the water extract, we are getting about 9.7 gram per gram of the stevia leaves, the phytochemicals we are getting. And after this membrane separation process, the final stage, we are getting about 88% recovery of the stereoside. In the first stage, we are getting the concentration increase is about 50 to 80 microgram per ml. If we are starting with the 50 microgram per ml feed. And in the second stage, with the same condition, we can concentrate up to 200 microgram per ml under the similar condition. Obviously, pressure should be different. In the first stage, the pressure is little bit lower because it is in the ultrafiltration range 10 kDa. We are using 2 to 3 bar pressure. But in the second stage, since it is in the range of 800 to 850, so little bit higher pressure is required here, and 7 to 8 bar pressure is required. Product purity in the first stage, it was very low, about 46%. Because there was no specific separation of the stevia phytochemicals. It was just a pre-filtration, you can say, just to reduce the load of the second actual filtration process. The first one is done and to remove the pigments mainly. And in the second stage, we got the purification of about product purity of about 87%. And mostly the pigment molecules was removed about 88%. And since in the membrane process, fouling is the main problem, we have also just observed what is the fouling tendency, how the membrane is getting fouled by these two processes. So in the first stage, obviously the fouling tendency little bit higher. And because the pigment molecules are there, it's about 15% fouling is there, and it is recoverable type. You can recover this with the proper cleaning protocol. And in the second stage, a little bit lower, it's lower fouling was achieved, that is 8%. These parameters are very much important for a membrane separation process to consider, just to know or just to assess whether this process is feasible or not. Now, if these parameters are fouling is not properly, it is not reversible type, or if we can regenerate the membrane or we can reuse the membrane for the second run, then we cannot say that this process is efficient or not. So this is a recoverable type of fouling, and we are just recovering this after proper cleaning protocol. And this table is also just a comparative study of the first stage and second stage of the ultrafiltration of the membrane separation process. Stereoside feed, when it is starting with almost similar concentration, in the per minute for the first stage, you are getting this 80, almost 80 microgram per ml. That means all the stereoside, they are coming because we are taking higher molecular weight cutoff. But when we are taking about 8 to 850 molecular weight cutoff, then 800 Dalton molecular cutoff, then in permeate, we are not getting any stereoside. Those are already in the retented part. Pigments are already removed in the first stage, and flask obviously higher because fouling tendency is much less. As you have shown, fouling is less. The flask value is higher because the pressure is also very higher, and fouling tendency is low, and here fouling tendency is high. So this is the just comparison of this two-stage membrane separation process. And whether these stereoside isolated by this membrane process, it is damaged by any way or during the processing, because this membrane, they may have some interaction with the stereoside, because PSF may have some interaction with the stereoside or may damage its actual function. So we have studied in vitro antioxidant study with all these fractions that we have got in this process. For the crude extract, you can see the value and the in antioxidant potential, it is been reported in DPPH radical system. That is a very standard system of antioxidant potential study, and result has been represented as IC50 value, that is inhibitory half maximal inhibitory concentration for just inhibiting a particular biological reaction or biochemical function. And with the crude extract, you can see the value required for a particular inhibition, that is 135 milligram per ml. It is in milligram scale. And in the stereoside, in the membrane to membrane process, in the first stage and in the second stage, that stereoside having activity in 75 microgram level. Stereoside in the second stage, much better, 28. And the standard stereoside, what we have purchased from Sigma for standardization purposes and for HPLC analysis and for just quantification standardization, That stereoside is giving much better result again because of the high purity. This is coming with 99.9% purity. This is giving a much better result 21. So from this result, we just can say that these stereosides, what we are just getting in the membrane separation process, they are also having antioxidant potential, which is comparable with the commercial product. And if I consider about the standard BHA, it is obviously a little bit higher, and it is a synthetic component. Obviously, it is also higher. So stereoside, this stereoside, it is a good antioxidant potential is there, which is the basis of its therapeutic application also. So with this little we have just done. I'm trying to give you some of the basic findings here, and with this, I'm just trying to conclude this, and with the summary that stereoside. It is obviously having therapeutic application. So stevia can be also considered as a medicinal plant, and we can minimize the conventional process, the mother liquor sugar, which is lost as during the processing in conventional process, that can further be concentrated using by membrane separation process. We are getting two-step using these two step membrane separation process with a specific membrane of specifically designed for this stereoside. You can get a better isolation or better concentration with better product purity also. So, and this process, though it is a very small scale in our lab, only we are dealing with 500 ml solution, but since this process is basically product process performance or product efficiency is basically on the membrane, on the choice of the membrane. So, and the process is overall, membrane processes overall operation is very simple. It is pressure driven process, just in separation. There is no cumbersome unit operation is involved there. So using this process, using this concept, it can be industrialized or it can be upscaled. But with only changing the membrane type, if you just use of membrane of specifically for the stereoside isolation, then this type of process can easily be scaled up. And with this, I would like to conclude, obviously, with acknowledgement to my funding agency, that is Water Innovative Center, that is by DST funded. WTI project is actually this project we are working for water treatment, and using this facility, I am also doing the membrane separation. So my acknowledgement for the DST also. And finally, I would like to thank you all, the organizer, for giving me the chance to be a part of this international conference with a brief this message to you that the plant have enough spirit to transform our limited vision. Just they need our care, and we need to explore them for our own benefit. So thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Das, for your nice presentation.
Yeah, I have a question. This is Bipul from USA, and thank you, Dr. Das. I have, it is a very good presentation, obviously. So thank you for your nice presentation. But my question is, have you ever tested stevia, stereoside?
Sorry, sir. Can you repeat, please?
Have you tested stereoside?
Yes, sir. Stevia tested means we have done the just in vitro antioxidant study, and for quantification we have done the HPLC analysis.
No,
and
what I'm tackling is, I think you didn't get my point. Have you eaten stevia?
Oh, even tested it. Yes, sir. For the standard that we have purchased from the Sigma, we have tested that.
Oh, no.
No. I'm just eating that one. Do you know that stevia?
Yes, sir.
Stevia has a aftertaste. Do you know that?
Yeah. It is having an aftertaste.
Yeah, it is having aftertaste. Yeah.
So, do you know why that aftertaste is?
That's basically because of the impurities, sir, and for other glycosides, obviously. And this type of phenolic components, when you are taking, it feels after initially it will give some sweet smell, but after some reactions, because those are phenolics, there's antioxidants, and there must be some reactions with the other ingredients. It taste changes little bit. So that's the main problem for this after test.
Have you ever found that stevioside is the main thing that make the after test?
No, sir, that I've not studied in details. Only the stevioside, or because there are lots of antioxidants and lots of glycosides is there. This is only diglycosides. There are monoglycosides. There is only simple steviols. So lots of materials are there, sir. So you just can't say that this after test is only for those particular type of stevioside which is having a molecular weight of 110 or 109. So that cannot be said, sir.
Do you know there is a rubidioside there?
Yeah. It's there. Its molecular weight is little bit higher, and that also comes with the stevioside. And we are also trying a second step for how to remove that stevioside from the rubidioside. And also from the talcoside. Talcoside is already removed in our process because that is having low molecular weight range and it is coming to the permeate side. But for the rubidioside, we are trying because it is 900 range. It is in 930 range. So it is coming with the stevioside, and we are trying further to separate that red portion from the stevioside.
Yeah, my understanding that rubidioside is the good compound that is sweet, but stevioside is the compound that is making aftertaste. So in USA, people are trying to make the only rubidioside, not the stevioside.
Okay.
So that is what my question is.
But actually, not only the sweetener, we have also considered about its therapeutic applications. So from that point of view, I think we generally, as we have just studied, that stevioside is having also very good therapeutic applications. So this is not to be just discarded. The stevioside also have some potential, sir, apart from the rubidioside.
That is fine, but for if you are just going to sell for sweetener, people will not buy it if there is after.
Yeah,
obviously.
Dr. Vishwas.
Yeah.
Please, you just continue after that session is over. Then you can discuss with.
No problem. Thank you very much.
Running time.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Can I make some comments?
Thank you, Dr. Vishwas.
Make some quick comments. I'll just take 30 seconds.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. But I can feel that in this presentation, there is a small definition issue. Probably we are working with steviol glycosides there, but only the name of stevioside is mentioned. But we have handled in this work the total steviol glycoside, not the specific stevioside, and that is creating some confusion. And and secondly, we are just let me give you a little bit of industry perspective. We are waiting for a membrane-based process where no pre-treatment with hexane will be necessary and no downstream extraction with solvent will be necessary. And the entire process should be on membrane separation technique. And that will be the holy grail of extraction technology. And the entire industry is just waiting for that. And thirdly, what you have mentioned that in your experiment, the maximum concentration you have handled so far is 200 microgram per ml. But in industry, we are used to handle a concentration of maybe 5,000 microgram per ml. Because if we need to handle a solution that dilute, that will involve a hell lot of liquid handling. So in our future work, we need to keep it in our mind.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So that's it. That's from my side.
Fully.